Nnamdi Kanu is a controversial figure and the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. He has been pushing for Biafra independence, believing his people, mostly from the southeast, are unfairly treated. Nnamdi Kanu's arrest and continued detention have been a huge issue, sparking debates across Nigeria, and right now, one of his lawyers, Barrister Maxwell Opara, has come out with some serious words on this matter. To set the scene, Barrister Maxwell Opara's main message is clear. The federal government's approach of suppressing people's voices, especially in the southeast, will only lead to more unrest. He believes that self-determination isn't a crime. It is a fundamental human right. Nnamdi Kanu, in his view, is not guilty of any offense, just expressing a desire for self-determination, which by international and Nigerian standard is a right thing to do. Maxwell Opara argues that releasing Nnamdi Kanu is not just a legal decision, but also a moral one, crucial for peace and stability in the southeast region. He stated that President Tinubu must be a coward for trying to stop the Biafra movement. He stated that Tinubu has refused to release Nnamdi Kanu, and right now he is trying to get Simon Ekpa arrested. He stated that Tinubu must be a coward for trying to arrest Simon Ekpa. According to him, the Biafra movement is spiritual and nothing can stop it. Even if they arrest Simon Ekpa, someone greater than Simon Ekpa will take over the mantle of leadership, that the movement is very sacred and not even the Nigerian government can stop it, that Biafra has come to stay and nothing will change that. That instead of President Tinubu to be looking for who to arrest, he should calm down and look at the things that is causing this agitation, such as the marginalization of the Igbos, the discrimination of the Igbos, and the Igbophobia currently going on in Nigeria. Just recently, the federal government of Nigeria reshuffled the cabinet, and many people felt it didn't address the southeast real issues. In this case, Bianca Ojukwu, wife of famous Biafran leader Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, was appointed as a minister from the southeast, but Barrister Maxwell Opara isn't impressed. He stated that bringing in someone like Ojukwu Bianca isn't going to solve anything because the issues run deeper than just one position in government. He compared the cabinet reshuffle to selling a dog and buying a monkey. It is his way of saying we are essentially in the same sport, just swapping faces. He argues that most of the ministers, including those newly appointed, are loyalists, not independent-minded leaders who would challenge the president on poor policies. To him, Nigeria's current administration is only creating yes men who lack the courage to stand up and speak the truth. Barrister Maxwell Opara points out that Nigeria's persistent peace issues aren't about who is in government, but how the government treats its people. He says, look around the world. Countries that govern with fairness and justice have peace. He uses the United States of America as an example, saying America has progressed because everyone, regardless of background, is given equal opportunity. According to Maxwell Opara, in Nigeria, it often feels like leadership is passed down within certain ethnic or elite cycles, and the Southeast is usually left out. Barrister Maxwell Opara feels that if the federal government really wanted peace, they would have listened to respected voices like former presidents and prominent leaders who have advised the president to release Nnamdi Kanu and start a genuine dialogue with the Southeast. The Southeast feels excluded, and every time Nnamdi Kanu supporters feel this way, it only makes Nnamdi Kanu detention seem more unjust. According to Barrister Maxwell Opara, the Southeast needs to feel like they are part of Nigeria with equal rights and representation. And let's be honest, Nigeria's power dynamics have historically leaned towards the North and the West. Barrister Maxwell Opara emphasizes that since 1999, major positions in government, the president, vice president, and heads of the judiciary have rarely, if ever, been filled by someone from the Southeast. Barrister Maxwell Opara argues that this thing makes Southeast Nigeria feels like they are second-class citizens in their own country. Barrister Maxwell Opara also notes that the government's tendency to harshly repress the Southeast while showing leniency towards others is also part of the reason why the Southeasterners are clamoring for an independent state of Biafra. He stated that the government has sometimes met with known bandits in the north seeking peace through dialogue, but when it comes to the Southeast, the strategy is more about force and suppression. This argument by Barrister Maxwell Opara is a double standard. He points out that IPOB is registered in many countries worldwide, yet in Nigeria it is labeled a terrorist organization. He sees this as an inconsistent, especially when other countries haven't taken the same stance. Barrister Maxwell Opara doesn't hold back when discussing the way Southeast people are treated economically either. He mentions the struggles of Southeasterners in places like Lagos, where they sometimes face property restriction and even discrimination. To him, these are signs of deep-rooted bias that the federal government isn't addressing. Barrister Maxwell revealed that the real problem in Nigeria is that only certain groups hold power. He emphasizes that Nigerians can't ignore diversity, especially when it is used as a reason to exclude the Southeast from key roles. He lists examples of Southeastern achievements in sport, commerce, education, and industry to show that the region has contributed immensely to Nigeria's progress. Yet, they don't get the same respect in leadership opportunity. What is more, Barrister Maxwell Opara highlights the connection between Nnamdi Kanu's continued detention and the chaos in the Southeast. He believes that Nnamdi Kanu's imprisonment has led to splinter groups and factions, each claiming to represent IPOB, some of which take a more extreme approach. If Nnamdi Kanu were released, Maxwell Opara argues that he could have brought some unity and control back to the movement, possibly reducing violence and confusion in the region. As for the sit-at-home protests that have caused economic and social disruption in Southeast, IPOB has consistently denied that it is enforcing them, but Maxwell Opara believes that Nnamdi Kanu's absence has led to a lack of control, with rogue elements issuing commands in IPOB's name. In Barrister Maxwell Opara's view, the federal government approach by arresting and silencing Nnamdi Kanu instead of addressing the Southeast demand is like putting a band-aid over a deep wound. He is suggesting that if the government released Nnamdi Kanu, listen to him and discuss his grievances, it could lead to genuine solution. In fact, Barrister Maxwell Opara even proposes that the government re-evaluate its relationship with the Southeast by promoting policies of inclusion justice, and equity. At the end of the day, Barrister Maxwell Opara's message is that the government need to do more than just reshuffle ministers. The people in the southeast aren't looking for symbolic gestures. They want real change and a government that listens and represents them fairly. Without this, Barrister Maxwell Opara believes that there will not be any peace in Nigeria unless President Bola Ahmed Tinubu allow the Igbos to go and form their own country, which is the Republic of Biafra. I will play the video for you guys to watch and see for yourself.
Talking about Bianca Ojukwu, and that is one of the angles we will be looking at as we turn to the lawyer who is a human rights lawyer in the house now, Maxwell Opara. We will be looking at sustainability measures in that region that the president has actually started with the appointment of Bianca Ojukwu, as people are saying. So welcome, Maxwell.
Max, how's it going? Been a little while.
We thank God. As work.
Thank God too.
Okay, first of all, let's get your overall view regarding the reshuffle of the president's cabinet, which broke last week.
We are still where we are. I just like, how do my father normally put it? You sell dog and you go and buy monkey. Are they not the same thing? There is no difference between 6.5 dozen. So I don't see any effect in the reshufflement, because we are talking about those that have failed. The few months of this government is total failure by my own assessment and by assessment of majority of Nigerians. Now, the president said that he's going to assess them by their input in his cabinet. So you remove, I think, what's the name, Humanitarian Affairs, who was on suspension and finally removed. Then Kennedy Ohanele, Minister for Education, of course, is supposed to go under some other person, and now you now brought in some other persons. And generally, I don't see anything, because it must start from the top. The policies, apart from the ministers, those who appointed, if you should ask me, they are all yes member. That they cannot look at your face and tell you, Mr. President, you are not doing well. Mr. President, this policy cannot fly. Because they are your agent, they need that job. Unlike somebody like Maxwell Opara, they don't need that job. I will tell you, Mr. President, from the first day you are inaugurated till as I'm talking to you, all your policies, administration is totally against the people that we are governed. Now, I was somebody said that now that you have appointed the wife of Ikemba Ojukwu, that is a strategic to get the people of Southeast. I don't know who is advising you. If you cannot take advice of somebody like Obiozo, late, the former president of Ohaneze, you cannot take the advice of Ezife, late. You cannot take advice of someone like Iwan. You cannot take advice of someone like Obonyon. I can mention Mbazulika Mechi. Those that have seen it all.
What's the advice that they give?
That you should release Nnamdi Kanu, restructure Nigeria, then carry Igbos along, the people of Southeast. Carry them along. Give them that sense of belonging, so that there will be peace. Now, Nkole, this is our assignment to you. Check all the whole countries that is predicated their governance on injustice and unfair treatment against some sections of that country. That country will never have peace. I can go on and on. Why America is succeeding today is because America believes in if you are qualified, you are qualified. As they are treating somebody from American India, they are treating African American like that. That's why somebody from Kenya will go to America and become the president, and you see them progressing. So okay, somebody agitated of marginalization, yeah. After 50 years, you are still doing the same thing, and you feel that you will have peace. It's more spiritual than physical. Okay, let's go back to the cabinet, Max. Now, I've heard different schools of thought. They're saying that the things are changing, and this whole idea of having, several slots per state isn't really that fashionable anymore.
that really what people want are performers. I mean, if you get 11, if you get 30 Jebu people, if they're the best you have, put them there and let them do the job. So, but this ethnicity diversity continues to play a part, and that's the reason why many people seem to see the appointment of Bianca Ojukwu as a masterstroke.
You see, why, if you go to Dubai now, nobody talk about the president. Nobody cares. If you go to UK, nobody talk about who is the president. Nobody cares, because the system is functional. Why people are talking about this issue of it is my turn, it is not my turn, equitable treatment, because some persons felt that this is their father's inheritance. Leadership in this country is their father's inheritance. So that's why you will now see somebody like Buhari, who's supposed to be in jail now, will rule this country for good 8 years. And they will come out to tell you that I will never look for those who gave me 95%. I'll be talking about those who give me 5%. And he rubbished this country with incompetent set of people. Now, Mr. President came up again. Go to CBN, go to NNPC, go to all those key sectors of the economy. Look at those of the people that are working there. Now, the people that you have been marginalized, that you fail to carry along, and people have been asking you, allow these people. They have helped this country.
Max, there's a picture up there. What do we?
Yes, that is the day Iwayan visited Nnamdi Kanu. You can see us there. And Iwayan, this is in his parlor. Iwayan was crying after visiting Nnamdi Kanu. Thereafter, I think
crying about what?
About the way Nnamdi Kanu is being treated, and Iwayan pleaded in that press interview that the president should release Nnamdi Kanu. That is the only area you have peace. I'm talking about Iwayan that have seen it all. Then, after how many months, what happened? Few weeks after Iwayan died, you are still holding Nnamdi Kanu. And you now turn around. Somebody now tell you that go and appoint Bianca as a minister. That Bianca, if you appoint Bianca as a minister, there will be peace in her. So Bianca, after you are swearing in, you go to Southeast and address them. That now that I have been given a minister, everybody should calm down.
No, apart from really, weighing into the Nnamdi Kanu case you talked about, but the appointment of Bianca Ojukwu, who was a former Biafran warlord, really, so don't you think that in itself is the president trying to also carry the Southeasterners along? So
Kennedy Ohanele is not from Southeast. You remove somebody from Anambra and put another person from Anambra. That with I think Minister for State for Foreign Affairs or what they are giving. So that's the only thing that will calm the people of Southeast down. One is to release Nnamdi Kanu, restructure this country, carry the people of Southeast along. Release Nnamdi Kanu, negotiate with him, and allow him to continue with his agitation. If he meets the criteria of being having his own Biafra, so be it. Don't tell us that this country is not negotiable. The unity of this country is not negotiable. It's negotiable, for Christ's sake. Because if things are not working the way it's supposed to be, I told you the other day I came here. I said that somebody from China has a say in this country than somebody from Southeast. Had it been that flag, Chinese flag and the Russian flag that we are carrying in Kano, had it been that flag we are carrying in either Enugu or Anambra or Imo, by now that Southeast would have been turned into ashes. So Ndiboho went to London last week to present a paper. I need Orubudu Republic. Had it been that somebody from Southeast went to that London to present that paper, by now they would have been picked up. So we are not nobody from Southeast, we are being treated as a slave in this country. And that is the essence of this agitation. He's not qualified to be the president. He's not qualified to hold any key position. He suffered on his own, established himself. He will acquire land from their state. Go and see what is happening in Lagos. This is collecting lands belonging to the people of Southeast. People will see of, you go to court. Which court? It's not their own court. So what we are saying is that this particular issue can be addressed when the president calm down. Release Nnamdi Kanu, have a discussion with him. You have been having a discussion with bandits and the so-called repentant Boko Haram. Tell me the offense of Nnamdi Kanu. because he's agitating for self-determination, which is his own constitutional fundamental right granted to him by the constitution and the law.
Well, the government's angle is not because of the agitation, because they know that everyone has a right to agitate, but they said the way he was going about it,
like
and then people were being incited. But that's even not what I'm
what of the one the wife of the president incited people during the election? The wife of the president, he incited people that Igbo should go. What of the one Oba of Lagos said that Igbo should go and fall into lagoon? What of those that came out and said that Igbos will not vote? If you are not voting for APC, you will not vote. What happened to them? Has anybody been arrested? That Nnamdi said something, then you now term that thing he said as is a terrorist, is a crime of terrorism. You charge him for terrorism. His own lawful organization that is registered in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe and Asia, and you now came to Nigeria, you term it a terrorist organization. Now you are now saying that now that IPOB is being recognized in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe, so you are now saying that America, France, Germany, they are recognizing a terrorist organization because you don't want anybody to agitate. You want to suppress anybody. If you talk, kill him, suppress him, jail him. In a country that is predicated on constitutional governance, it cannot work like that.
Okay, let's get back to the ministerial nomination of Bianca Ojukwu, because you said he took away one from Anambra and brought in another. But remember that the president took away the minister based on the KPI results that came out, which he was not even the one, that did the evaluation. It was the result given to him with which he did that, meaning that if actually the minister had performed, above board in the KPI, he wouldn't have had any reason to remove her rather.
Now, still on that ministerial list, we have 48 of them, am I right? And we have 36 states in this country, including FCT 37. So apart from Southeast, that have only 5, every other region have more than 6, apart from Southeast. Now, check since 1999, we have been having series of president, let's use what is going on now. The president is from where? Vice is from where? Speaker is from where? Senate president is from where? CJN is from where? Court of Appeal president is from where? National Industrial Court president is from where? Chief Judge of Federal High Court is from where? And you are saying that the people of Southeast belongs to this country.
Are you sure you're not, Max? Are you sure you're not? It's just like what I said too. Isn't it time we started to be less sentimental about this diversity?
We have to apply it now. We are saying that the only people that are qualified to hold all this position, nobody from South is qualified. On what basis?
Are you saying that there's
But the chief of naval staff is from the Southeast?
Huh?
The chief of naval staff?
From where? I'm talking about the key position. Number 1 person, number 2 person, number 3 person, number 4 person, number 5 person. The key position, we have 3 arms of government: the executive, the judiciary, and the parliament. You can never see anybody from Southeast there. Now, the point we are talking about is that when I'm not even talking about, I'm in court about lopsided appointments.
Okay.
I can avail that my process because I did an intensive research in that process. File it, asking court to view whether this particular appointment, whether this particular government is in line with Federal Character Establishment Act, an act of National Assembly that said that you should carry everybody along. Section 14 of the Constitution also said that you should carry everybody along. And we are not doing all these things. You are telling me that, yes, now that you have removed Kennedy Hanele and you are now brought in Bianca Ojukwu, that the people of Southeast will jubilate. Are you talking to idiots? Look at the people that you are talking about. Let me start with the sports. In football, the people that have made Nigeria proud are the people of Southeast. In commerce, in aviation industry, name it. In academics, they are from people of Southeast. But when it comes to power, they are not qualified. And we want them to be happy. Listen, let me tell you, like today that is Monday, go to Southeast. And my annoyance is that these things are avoidable for Christ's sake. They won at Niger. They listen and the Kalu. Let us start addressing this issue. This early morning, somebody sent me a clip, something they posted that they said from, I think they said next week, I'll be the next 2 weeks, that there will be nothing like federal court in the whole of Southeast. What do I mean by federal court? Federal court, National Industrial Court is a federal court. Federal High Court is a federal court. Court of Appeal is a federal court. Now, the judges that are there, most of them are not Igbos. Majority of them are not Igbos. How should you risk somebody to go and preside in the Court of Appeal, or the Judicial Division, Oka Judicial Division, Enugu Judicial Division? How can you appoint somebody to go and preside in Federal High Court in the Southeast, National Industrial Court in the Southeast? And you are not even thinking about all this. And the judges are not even thinking about, no, we cannot do it.
Max, I'd like to continue just a second, just to let you know that it's gone past the second hour on Kakaki, the African Voice this Monday. Around this time, we usually bring you Kakaki Social. We will still bring it to you, but that will be just a little later in the program. Okay, Max?
So the point we are talking about is that when there is a problem, look for a solution. Personally, somebody like us, we are not even, I'm defending Nnamdi Kanu, one of his wires. So when they say so you people are not doing what you're supposed to do, the person that is calling you, don't even know him. He's using the hidden number to call you. You don't even know what you're talking about court. The only thing that is that you went to court and you were unable to bring Nnamdi Kanu out. They're not even safe.
Okay, Maxwell, let me ask you this, because from what you're saying, I've also heard IPOB many times deny, allegations of being involved in some of the killings that happen in the Southeast and some of the, the ills that we see in the society. Even the sit-at-home in question, IPOB has also claimed that he has not asked anybody to sit at home. I don't know, get my point. So the point I'm making is that from what you're saying, it would look as if what you're actually trying to say is that it's because Nnamdi is being held.
Yes.
That is why, the ills in the society in the Southeast has escalated. Does it have anything to do with him, if that is what you're saying?
You know why? Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB is his initiative. He established it, he organized it. Now, when you now kidnapped him or adopted him, and unlawfully, because the Supreme Court have said that he was unlawfully brought into this country, and you kept him incommunicado, everybody on his own. This one we kill, you said at IPOB. This one we maim, he said at IPOB. Everybody on his own. That's why I asked you the question, who is IPOB? The IPOB is Nnamdi Kanu. So if Nnamdi Kanu is out, he will know who is who. Simon Ekpa will talk his own, Emma Powerful will talk his own, this one will talk his own, this one. Who is IPOB that you are even talking? Simon Ekpa is in Finland. Emma Powerful, I don't know where he's operating from. Another person is operating from somewhere. Issuing threats, just like the one somebody told me. I don't even know where that one is coming from. So the easiest way to do is the one that Nnamdi Kanu. Then tell Attorney General, as he discontinue the charges against the president of Mieti Ala Kato, discontinue that of Showore, they are all terrorism. Tell them to discontinue that of Nnamdi Kanu, and allow Nnamdi Kanu to agitate. It is his right. I told you the other day.
You see, that's where the problem is, really. The guarantee, that there will not be problems, even if Nnamdi Kanu is because you're saying allow him to agitate, and he goes about it the way he used to, like, the government have actually feared. That may also create more problems, don't you think?
Let me tell you, there are some things that you asked me the other day whether they are talking about condition giving Nnamdi Kanu. I told you one question. I said, if you give Nnamdi Kanu condition that he feel after meeting up that condition he will still live like a human being, so be it. But when you give him condition and you are removing that made him a human being, he will tell you no. What is that made you a human being? That thing that makes you a human being is your ability to exercise your fundamental right. And when somebody said, now I'm going to employ you here, I'll be paying you $500,000 every month, but you will not talk, you will not move out, you said, do away with your job. When somebody said, I'm going to release you, but I will cut one of their hands, say no. The agitation for self-determination is a fundamental right, and if you people fail to understand it, I can agitate that I need the Republic of Maxwell. It is my right. Anybody can agitate. I don't even need crowd to follow me. It is when you now feel that you have gotten the necessary distance, the necessary need the necessary qualities, then so be it. It is now left for the president who believe in democracy, who believe in government of the people by the people, to apply an initiative. What is the initiative? Release the person, start addressing all those issues that gave rise to this agitation. It has been there. Uwazirike was agitating during Obasanjo. A lot of people were agitating. So now that you have arrested, you come down Uwazirike that time, Nnamdi Kanu came up. Now that you have arrested Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa is here. I think this data from Ned Nwoko was telling you that even if you arrest Simon Ekpa today, another Simon Ekpa will come out. So the issue there is that address all those issues.
So for you, it's not about ministerial appointment.
No. That one.
Okay,
that one is a complete distraction.
It shouldn't even come in.
Okay. After turning in now, let Bianca come and address the Igbos in Enugu.
All right. We'll, of course, we'll be keeping our.
I'm sure the Igbos will also listen to Bianca because she also. Our time is totally up on this.
30 seconds. See, let me tell you. If you watch when Nnamdi Kanu started, people were saying, people were calling it Biafra. I'm talking about the Igbos, but I'm telling you, if not 98, 97% people of Southeast, the Igbos, are within Nnamdi Kanu.
All right, that was 45 seconds. You said 30.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of the day. Goodbye.